Sports have the power to inspire, unite, and push human limits. But when it comes to greenhouse gas emissions, they're scoring big points, and not the kind we want on the scoreboard.
– 190 countries have joined the team by ratifying the Paris Agreement, with the game plan of limiting global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. To do that, we need to cut greenhouse gas emissions dramatically across every sector, and sports need to step up to the plate.
Stats do not lie. The Carbon Literacy Project puts the global sports sector's carbon footprint at around 350 million tons of CO2. That's 10 times more than a country like Switzerland. If sports were a country, it would be the 19th biggest carbon emitter, leaving France in the dust. Now that's a record nobody wants to hold. So where's the foul play? The biggest sources include travel, being constantly on the move, energy use, keeping stadium lights blazing, waste, all those cups add up, and land use, that is emission due to deforestation. Of course, the amount and source of emissions vary across sports and locations. A golf course in hot, dry Saudi Arabia uses more energy for irrigation than one in rainy England. Big international events are heavyweight carbon emitters. The 2016 Rio Olympics generated about 3.6 MT of carbon emissions, equivalent to the amount of emissions from 760,000 cars.
The good news? Sports organizations are getting off the bench and into the field. The International Olympic Committee is now in line with the Paris Agreement, pledging to slash emissions by 50% by 2030 and achieve net zero by 2040. Over 250 other sports bodies have signed to this all-star team as signatories to the UN Sports for Climate Action. From heavy hitters like World Athletics and the NBA, to smaller players like Banff Marathon and Volleyball Ireland, they are all getting in the game.
We're already seeing some slam dunks for climate action. Paris 2024 Olympics significantly cut emissions compared to previous games. Forest Green Rovers, a football club in the UK, became the world's first carbon-neutral club. They're running their facilities on renewable energy, serving vegan meals at matches, and sporting sustainable kits. The Phoenix Open Golf Tournament in the US has become the world's largest zero-waste event. Despite these hat tricks, we need to watch out for fouls. Not all green initiatives stick the landing. That is sports washing, where sustainability is more about image than real action. This is why sports associations, athletes, and fans need to keep an eye on the ball and demand meaningful change.
It is not just about the big sports. Local sports clubs and grassroots initiatives can take climate action too. One way to start is by measuring your own carbon footprint to identify where you can make a power play for reductions. Rally the team with education initiatives involving athletes, communities, and local businesses. Make sustainable practices your starting lineup, like using public transport, rail and bus travel for shorter distances instead of flights, banning plastic bottles, or choosing eco-friendly venues. A gold medal example: the city of Paris has banned single-use plastic in all its road races, including the Paris Marathon, so they are definitely on track for sustainability. Whilst improving efficiency is a good first quarter strategy, they will only get us so far. For a championship level comeback against climate change, we need to rewrite the rulebook.
Formula E raced onto the scene as an electric alternative to Formula One, proving high-performance racing does not need to burn fossil fuel to burn rubber. Some leagues are adjusting competition schedules and formats to reduce travel, putting matches back-to-back and regionalizing competitions. That's some clever defensive positioning.
And what about sponsorship? Teams cutting ties with fossil fuel sponsors are making quite the move, sending a strong message to industries that profit from pollution. And let's not forget the influencers. From football stars to Olympic champions, athletes are using their platforms to call for stronger climate policies. When they speak, fans listen. That's home field advantage for our planet.
The fight against climate change is not just for scientists or for politicians. As a fan and sport enthusiast, you too can join the starting lineup by choosing sustainable sports gear, traveling responsibly, and supporting eco-friendly competitions. Remember, in sports and climate action, every move counts.